Toby is compassionate. He really has a lot of energy for social interactions. He cares about people. He has high expectations for himself, which can be frustrating too because he does have ADHD. He was struggling in class, he was struggling at home with following directions, and there's a lot of secondary symptoms of anxiety and depression.
I have been battling my mental health since I started preschool. I started picking up drinking. At first, it was just so depressed in my bed that I couldn't sleep that I was like, oh, you know what? I could just take a shot and just knock myself out. Towards the beginning of my freshman year, I picked up smoking. Then I started making more friends, which drove me to stick with smoking. From there, just went into a bit of a spiral. I just didn't care. All I wanted to do was get messed up.
He started to hang out with people that were doing dangerous activities. From there, his functioning decreased and he was not safe. So then his parents placed him in 2 different treatment programs.
I got sent to a long-term therapeutic boarding school in Montana. While I was angry, I was also scared because I was surrounded by 30 boys, 15 girls, and we're all in this building, so you can't really be alone. I was there for 14 months, and it gave me time to realize that my first responsibility should be me.
Toby had just graduated from the residential treatment program. He had been gone for more than a year. He was really struggling with adjusting to being back in a family setting where he had to be one of the kids. He had to go sleep in his old bedroom, deal with all of the issues that came up with having 2 parents again who were trying to get him to do stuff. He had just been in a setting that was very structured and very scheduled, much more than his home.
In the time that I spent transitioning to home, I joined Ryther. At first, it was just an individual therapy session. I was talking, I was processing well, stuff was going all right. That was also around this time I got into a relationship that I probably shouldn't have, and that caused me to go back into a relapse. It got to the point where I was self-harming for the pleasure of the other person. It got to the point where I just didn't feel like I wanted to be alive anymore. So I tried to overdose.
When Toby relapsed, I was able to very quickly get a hold of the director, David, and say, what can we do to get this kid assessed? What's the process? When can he join the Seven Challenges Group? And it was amazing how quickly, within the week, that we were able to get Toby into those services. That's one of Ryther's huge strengths, and not only are the wraparound services available to families, the family and the child get the benefit of the collaboration that goes on with the professionals.
When you think about continuum of care, we mean basically a range of services that increase in intensity as kids' acuity or behavior increases. At the bottom end of the continuum, or the early end of the continuum, what we want are preventative services. If kids end up having a mental health challenge, they might need one level up from that, which is intervention of some kind. If their needs really aren't being met or they can't remain safe in their community at that level, what we need is more services that are more intense, and that's what starts to build a continuum. When you have each level of that continuum, you can get what you need when you need it. And when you don't have each level of that continuum, it can be really challenging.
It's a perfect combination of fairly small agency on a campus together and have this diversity of programs.
I think that people here at Ryther really do want to make lives worth living. I've been practicing nonstop to get my driver's license, and I'm going to be driving pretty soon. I am now a high school graduate, so I'll be going into college, so I'm looking forward to my courses in the fall.
There has never been a more important moment to expand services for children and youth. Over the last few years, we've seen an increase in need and a decrease in availability, and that creates a crisis. We are in dire need of more services for children and youth.